Hello everyone, this is Chelsea from Those With Words. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm here to share with you a flip through of my Hawaii travel journal. This journal I finished about a week or so after I got back from the trip, which actually is a little bit unusual. I typically take longer, maybe up to a couple of weeks after I have returned from the trip to finish things. But right now I do have a little bit more free time in my day-to-day, so I was able to really get this done quickly, and I thought I would show you the flip through today. It's gotten pretty chunky, as you can see here, lots of ephemera inside, so I'm excited to share with you the pages. As a quick reminder, I took the Traveler's Company Yudo refill, and I brought this blue Traveler's notebook with me. This is the Traveler's Airlines cover that was released in 2022. So let's go ahead and get started. On the cover here, I put down some stickers. Some of these I put down before the trip, so these two, as well as these two in the back. But these two and this one, and then this washi tape, I had a sample with me and I decided to put a little bit of it down here because it said Aloha Hawaii, and this is a long time ago, but Traveler's Company had a small Hawaii collection, and a friend was really kind enough to gift me a sample of this washi tape, so I decided to put that here. And this sticker is new from the trip as well. So I really like how that turned out. It's a really fun balance between the stickers that I had before and stickers I acquired along the way. Here is the cover page, which I worked around the existing Yudo refill, so I didn't really change any of this part, but I just stamped Hawaii and the travel dates. Like I said earlier, lots of ephemera and photos. I print the photos after I get home from the trip. So during my travel, I just have this little piece of paper right here. And I take this with me and I just kind of map out where I'm going to put the photos, like this. And that way it really helps me figure out where I'm going to place the photos, so I don't really decorate in that area. And once I get home, I print everything on sticker paper and I put them down, and that way it's a lot easier to just go through and put down the photos. I watercolored a little bit as well, so you'll see a couple of drawings there. These are some paintings of pastries. And we had lots of shaved ice while we were there, so I put down lots of photos of shaved ice, and I wrote first shave ice of the trip. And I think we had 5 shave ice total, and we had 6 nights in Hawaii, so almost every single day. This is a really fun piece of ephemera here. This was actually stuck on the locomoco that we ordered. This is like a king size locomoco, so it was huge. And my partner plucked this off right away so I could put it into my travel journal. So that's a fun story for you. Here are more photos, and this was a really beautiful sunny day, at least a sunny morning. I think it was mostly sunny that day, so we got a really nice picture right here with the ocean in the background. Really looks picturesque. The weather, I have to say, was mostly cloudy when we were there, and a couple of the days it rained just on and off, and overall it was very windy, which I wasn't expecting, but the wind actually cooled the temperature down quite a bit, so it made it really manageable for us to travel. You know, I wasn't really like sweaty walking everywhere, so that was actually nice. So can't really have everything, but I'm happy with how everything turned out. This right here is like an interesting framing, so I just used some red watercolor to do this. Originally there was a red envelope here that I received from the temple because I bought a little souvenir, and then I bought, as part of that, I bought the sticker. I also had pressed pennies from here, and I placed it all together in the red envelope, and I pasted it onto this page originally, but the red envelope started shedding the color red just sort of all over the pages, especially when I closed this up. So I eventually just removed it. I had just attached it here with some washi tape. So I removed it, and then in order to get rid of the red lines, I just kind of did this with red watercolor so it looks like a little picture frame, kind of, except only on the bottom half and not on the top half. But this was my way of working around that. And this restaurant didn't have any business cards or anything, so took an extra new napkin and I carefully placed this down. I used double-sided tape for this, but it was very tricky. The napkin part was quite thin, so I really had to be careful with the double-sided tape, but I think it worked out really well and it's staying on pretty nicely. Shave ice number 2. Oh, there was a really weird fire alarm scare. Thankfully, nothing was wrong and everything was fine, but yeah, that was not fun to experience while I was in the bathroom washing my face and there was soap on my face and the alarm went off. But again, nothing happened, so everything was a-okay. This bakery was so good. I am so glad I tried it. It turned out I had a perfect washi for it. This was a sample from a friend that I received a long time ago, and it's actually of this bakery, but I believe this particular washi tape is from the bakery in Okayama, Japan. And then this is the branch in Hawaii. So I think this opened not too long ago, but it's the same bakery. So my mind was blown when I realized that I actually have washi tape to match this bakery. So I used that over here. Out of the couple things I tried, instead of writing such and such was my favorite, I ended up writing down what the items were in the photo, and then I did this little effect where I just circled it with some gel pen and I put little sparkles around it to show that those items were my favorites. And I do this again later on in this journal. More ephemera. This is a piece of paper that they give you their donut on. This is a different place. And I asked for a spare because I couldn't find a business card for this place either. So I was like, hey, is it strange if I ask you for the piece of paper that you put your donuts and pastries on? And they were really nice and gave me an extra one. So I used it as a background here. Here is some more watercolor, and this is where I did that again, where this was my favorite item. So I circled it and put some sparkles around it, and I tipped in business cards wherever I could, and I tried to write or utilize the space behind the business card as well. Similar approach here, and this piece and this piece right here is from the Ala Moana map. So they had paper maps there, which I thought was really cool. So I tore off the part and I circled the places that we went to. Here's another business card tip-in that I used. And some more ephemera, shave ice number 3. And I used some other stickers that I had been hoarding. So this sticker is not an ephemera from this place or really anywhere that I went to this trip, but I was hanging on to some of the stickers like this for a little too long. So I decided to just put one down here. I did bring it with me as like one of the stickers in the back, and I pulled it out to just use it right here. This was a really fun meetup with 2 friends, and this is the day we drove to North Shore, and this coffee place had the cutest business card. It's shaped in the shape of a coffee cup, and it was so cute. I had to grab one and tip it in, and then I wrote about our gathering. This is also where I got to film a little bit of the journal with me that I shared last time on my channel. And that was really fun as well. That was the journal at the cafe portion. I will link that video down below. I tried to draw the shave ice here, but it didn't turn out that well. I realized afterwards that Matsumoto Shave Ice right here, it's actually capitalized, but I didn't capitalize all the letters when I wrote it here for the little drawing. It's okay, close enough. I had fun doodling it. And there's some more ephemera and a little more drawing. This is Lokomoko from Island Vintage, which was really delicious. And this is actually a sticker given by the shop. So we went to 88 Tees to shop a little bit and they threw in some stickers in our bag. And I just decided to use one right here on the page instead of saving it for later. And I think the other one is the one here. So there you go. Just tried to use things up as quickly as I could. This is a whole brochure. We went to this sandwich place again. It's called Mana Sandwiches, and I think they're back here somewhere. Right here. So we went here once and then back again, and I grabbed this brochure about their strawberries. And I cut off the top and bottom, but I was able to fit pretty much the whole thing into this page, which is one of the many reasons I love the Travelers Company standard size. I think I talked about this too from my Journal With Me session, but yeah, really liked how that turned out. More ephemera. This is a chopstick holder. Thought it would be fun to save. And this is my attempt at painting some fireworks. I don't know if it turned out that well, but we ended up watching a parade and then there were some fireworks as we were walking back from dinner. And this was on the beach. I hadn't seen fireworks up this close in years. I can't even remember the last time I did. And it was a very memorable experience for me. I can still picture it vividly in my memories. So I tried to recreate it from memory. It's okay. I just didn't want to make the background too dark, even though it was at night, because then I felt like I wouldn't be able to make the fireworks stand out a lot. Or it could also be that I don't really have the skills to do that right now. So this is what I ended up settling for, but it brings me back those memories. So I think that is all good. More ephemera. This one was from the spa, so I used the Travelers Company. Well, I think this sticker is actually for like a bathhouse, but I just used it anyway because it kind of went with the color scheme here. I should also mention all of these stamps on the other pages. So on each page, you'll see like a stamp or two. I know I'm going backwards right now, but I just want to show you. Most of these were stamped after I got home from the trip. So the actual stamps that I managed to stamp before the trip, I think it was only through maybe like here, because that's where I could predict the first day's itinerary going. Afterwards, we switched up some things. You know, some days we had initially planned to go shopping, but then we didn't feel like it, or we ate somewhere else than we had actually planned, and we switched things around. So I didn't want to stamp everything in advance. Also, that makes it feel really restrictive for me when I try to journal. So I got home and I just got my stamp pad inks out and a bunch of the different stamps, and I just stamped away maybe one per spread or one per page, whatever I thought was thematically matching. And this is another chopstick holder that I cut from this restaurant, which was really good. And this is Shave Ice number 5. This is one of the most beautiful sunsets that we caught while we were there. As I mentioned, the weather was actually quite cloudy and windy most days, so I wasn't really able to catch a glimpse of the sunset from our hotel room, which was something that I really wanted to do during the trip. So I was really happy when we actually got to see a beautiful sunset. I think this was the day before we left. Yes, the day before we left. So that was really nice. And here, this is quite cheesy, but this was my very first class experience. We did one of those things where You can bid for first class seats with the airline, and it's kind of luck of the draw whether or not you're going to get them or not. But we actually ended up getting them for our flight home, which is about 5 hours-ish, a little longer. So that was a really nice surprise. And I think I wrote here, we made fun of ourselves by saying, quote, "It's going to be so obvious we've never been on first class," unquote. So I tried to take some pictures discreetly. I don't really know if it was that discreet, but I had fun. And this was like a little piece of paper talking about the menu, so I decided to put that into my journal. Took a photo of the leg room, which I am not used to having, and the big table, which I'm also not used to having. So I was really glad because this also meant that, you know, of course you can eat on this table, but you can also journal on that table. So it was really nice actually to have room to spread out all my stuff and actually journal and feel comfortable. I have journaled plenty of times on economy. Like I said, this is my very first class experience, so I'm not used to this at all. And I probably shouldn't get used to it because I don't think I'll be flying first class again anytime soon. But yeah, the extra room was very nice, even though I do think it's, you know, perfectly possible to journal on economy. I think it's just more so that if the person sitting in front of you really leans back their seat in economy, then it's just really hard to have any vertical space to journal. But that was nice to not have to worry about that for the first time ever. So really grateful for that, feeling quite spoiled for it. But yeah, not taking that for granted. And then what I did during the trip is take a photo of the ocean just once per day, just because I could. I think the first day I actually just put it down on day 1 somewhere right here. So this is from the very first day, and I just decided to incorporate it into this spread where I talked about where we stayed and just our overall experience with the hotel. The rest of the days I decided to combine into this spread where from days 2 through 7, I just have an ocean view every single day. Some days are very cloudy, other days are not. So that's where I decided to do that. Each time I just woke up, before I washed up and got ready for the day, I just took a photo of the ocean. Here are some just additional ephemera and other bits. This is actually a salt and pepper cover. So if you open this up, there used to be salt and pepper in it from the airline, from the flight back, and it was so cute. So my partner gave me his after he took out the salt and pepper so I could put it into my journal. This is probably the thickest piece of ephemera you'll see in this travel journal. So when you close it up, the only thing you can see is this gigantic t-shirt ephemera, which I think is really cute, but it's just, yeah, so that's probably a good thing that I put it on one of the last pages. And then here I have a POG coin and a couple of pressed pennies. I think one is from Matsumoto Shave Ice and 2 are from the temple. So I just found this really small envelope that I had in my collection, and so I placed them there. I closed it up with a little bit of washi tape, and so they just live here now. I put this down with double-sided tape in the back. And that is it for this travel journal. I did not make use of the last 3 pages, but that's okay. I wrote everything in gel pen, which kind of surprised me. I thought I would want to use fountain pen more, but the overall color scheme of this journal and the stamp inks that I used just really lended itself to these 3 particular colors. So I used dark blue, green, and this golden sort of khaki color. And they're all Uniball Signo gel pens, and I use them throughout, just switching them up every spread, and I think it worked out really well. It was kind of nice to not have to think about what color ink I'm going to use for each page. I just kind of went and just wrote in it. And then for most of the headings that you see here, like this one, and I think the alarm scare, this one here too, and this one, They are all Sailor Shikiori markers. I've used them many times and I really like how they worked out here too. One other thing that I can point out, which is kind of interesting, is this is the Yudo refill. So you see the map of Japan here. Originally, this insert was meant to track your bathhouse visits in Japan, but I just decided to repurpose this because I just didn't see myself actually using this for the intended purpose. And so you'll see here, I just put ephemera over it, I painted over it, I put washi tape over it. I think there are, pages like this where I just wrote over it and I didn't really care whether or not it overlapped or not. It's not difficult to read or anything, so I'm perfectly happy with the way that I used this area. I just basically pretended that it didn't really exist, like this date, place, and the map. So I think it worked out quite well, even though, I don't know, some people might find it a little bit distracting, but I didn't want to cover up the whole thing on every single page, so I just decided to act like it wasn't really there. So there is that. And then one thing that I also wanted to mention is how much of the stationery that I brought with me that I actually used. So I think this looks the same, but most of the washi tape samples I used a lot of. I think there used to be another one here. I can't remember. I might have used all of it. This one only has one loop left around the card. This one too, this Okayama Kobo Bakery one. This one also has, I think, just one or two loops around the card. So I'm almost done with that. This one as well. So I made pretty good progress on the stationery that I brought with me. This is just the washi tapes. And then on the back, this is what I have left from the trip. I just wanted to quickly show you this too. I used up pretty much all of the PET tape pieces I brought with me, so that made me really happy. These ones are translucent memo pads, kind of. And they're really beautiful, but I could not really figure out a way to integrate them into my pages. So these went unfortunately unused, but I'll figure out a way to use them for other types of journaling at home. Some stickers were left over. So these are left over from what I originally brought. And then these are actually new. When we went to Leonard's Bakery, I bought a sticker pack. So these are left over from that. But I decided to just put them in the back because they come in a bigger packaging and I couldn't figure out a way to store that anywhere. So I just opened it up, used what I wanted. So right here, that's one of them. And I just placed the rest in the back pocket. One other thing I want to mention too is the sticker release paper refill that I brought with me. I used a ton of. So this is all that is left from what I brought along with me. I had a couple pages of stickers, not too many actually. I think I only had around 5 pages or so. I can't really remember. So maybe up to like here or this page. And this is everything that is left after I came home and finished up the journal. And on the back, I mean, you can't see them now because I used them all, but I used to have strips of double-sided tape on here. I think I brought about 3 or 4 pages of them, and I used those up very quickly as well. I honestly could have brought more, but the act of putting the strips of double-sided tape onto these pages is just very repetitive and boring, so I just got tired of it after 3 or 4 pages. But honestly, probably could have brought more and probably could have used them as well. So there is that. I just wanted to share some travel journal insights with you too. I am very happy with the amount of stationery that I brought on this trip. I think it felt just right and I used pretty much everything that I brought. So it made me really happy. That is it for this travel journal flip through video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.